Lysergic acid diethylamide, also known as LSD, animal, tabs, beast, acid, SID, window panes, and white lightning, is a semi-synthetic psychedelic drug or hallucinogen. It was first synthesized in 1938 and has been manufactured from lysergic acid, which occurs naturally in ergot, a type of fungus that grows on rye and wheat. LSD can come in various forms. It is manufactured as a white crystalline powder, but may be diluted as a colorless, odorless, slightly bitter-tasting liquid. It is sold on the streets in tablets, capsules, and occasionally liquid form. It is most often seen soaked in absorbent water paper and divided into small decorated squares, with each square representing one dose. It may also be sold on sugar cubes or as a thin gelatin referred to as window panes. LSD is most often administered orally, but can also be inhaled, injected, or transdermally applied, as it can be absorbed by the skin in liquid form. LSD works by disrupting the neurotransmitter serotonin and is most prominent in the cerebral cortex and locus coeruleus. Strength may vary from 20 to 80 milligrams per dose in average users to 100 to 200 milligrams per dose by experienced users looking for a greater high. Effects can be unpredictable and can be dependent on dosage, mood, personality, expectations, and surroundings. Typical psychological effects include hallucinations, increased color perception, altered mental state, delusions, impaired depth, time, and space perceptions, and mood swings. Physiological effects include tachycardia, hypertension, sweating, dilated pupils, loss of appetite, tremors, dry mouth, sleepiness, and trouble talking. Sensation and feelings change much more dramatically than physical effects, and sensations may cross over, making the user feel they are hearing colors or seeing sounds. Hallucinations and delusions typically occur at higher dosages, while altered feelings and perceptions occur at lower high dosages. The experience of taking LSD is known as a trip, while negative experiences are called bad trips. These bad trips lead to severe terrifying thoughts and feelings, fear of losing control, fear of sanity and death, and despair. Effects begin after 30 to 90 minutes of oral administration, peak at 2 to 4 hours in, and diminish after 6 to 8 hours, but may also go on up to 12 hours. LSD is not considered addictive as it does not produce the same compulsive drug-seeking behavior as cocaine or heroin would, and most users voluntarily decrease or stop use over time. The likeliness of tolerance is not concretely known, as most users do not take it continuously. However, repeated users tend to increase dosage as they seek a greater high. No symptoms of withdrawal from LSD have been observed, but some effects may be prolonged, such as mania, long-lasting psychosis, and flashbacks. These flashbacks can occur hours, weeks, or even a year after use. Research suggests that underlying mental disorders may be triggered in an otherwise mentally healthy person, causing lasting psychological effects. Overdose is possible, but highly unlikely as the lethal dose is exceptionally high, at 14,000 milligrams, while typical doses are 20 to 80 milligrams. Most common dangers arise from what is called behavioral toxicity, which is an uncharacteristic or abnormal behavior, such as suicidal thoughts or feelings of being superhuman, brought on by the drug. LSD was internationally in an experimental capacity in the 1950s and 1960s by governments to explore the possibilities of mind control, interrogation, and social engineering. It was most heavily used illicitly by the public in the 60s and 70s, typically at 100 to 200 milligrams per dose. The lowest recording of users in youth and young adults occurred in the 1980s. Since then, use of LSD in that current age group has increased since then in the 1990s and early 2000s, but a slight decline in users was observed more recently.